Hello, Matt. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
But I'm fine, thank you. And let me introduce myself first. My name is Aji. I'm a journalist from IDN Times, one of the biggest online media in Indonesia. So it's an honor for me to interview you because you are one of my favorite vocalists. So I feel glad to representative for my IDN Times.
Oh,
So
I
let
appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So let's go to the first question. My first question is uh, there are a lot of people talk about called you Avenged Sevenfold is a heavy metal band. Do you agree with that?
Um, I think we're more of an alternative metal band now. I mean, we have so many things, whether it's a little piece of heaven or something like Dear God or
Yeah.
something like um the new record's very avant-garde. I just feel like we go wherever we want to go, but we love to be heavy.
Yeah.
So if you say it's a heavy metal band, I feel like people instantly think, oh, it must sound like Slayer
Yeah.
or Metallica. And though
Yeah.
there are those elements, I feel like we do a lot more than that. So I don't know. I'll let other people decide what we are. We'll just be us, and then people can call us whatever they want.
All right. Great. Okay. Next question. When you write a song, do you take into consideration how well the song will be received by your listeners, or do you just make it according to your ideals, regardless of what people say?
Yeah, we just write whatever we want. I don't, one of the things that we love to do is kind of push our audience in different directions. We like to experiment every record. And I think that if you're, one of the things that happens is if everyone gets it right away, it's
Yeah.
probably not far enough.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is most of the records that I love the first time I hear them, I get over them right away. There's so many
Mm.
records though that I don't understand at first and I almost don't like. And then I
Okay.
find that the more I give them a chance, I start understanding what the artist was doing. And then those become my favorite records. So
Mm.
we feel like for us, we just have to go where we want to go as people
Yeah.
and show and make the music truest to ourselves, and people will follow. It might take them 5 years, it might take them 10 years, or they might get it right away. But at the end of
Mm.
the day, that's not our job. Our job is to be a reflection of what we see and what we want to hear.
All right, great. So, third questions. The more experience you have, do Avenged Sevenfold find it more difficult to write the songs?
Um, no, because we're not putting ourselves in a box. I think if you
Uh-huh.
were to say, hey, you have to write a song like this or a song like
Mm.
that, then
Mm.
that would be really hard because
Oh.
then you're kind of like, you have parameters.
Mm.
I think songwriting every record is hard,
Mm.
right?
Ah.
Because it comes down to taste, the amount of time you want to spend on it,
Mm.
and it comes down to just like man hours. And we
Mm.
sit there and we go over it and over it and over it and think some
Mm.
things are kind of good, but they
Yeah.
don't quite get there. And you got to
Yeah.
just throw it out. And that's a hard thing to do. It's called killing
Mm.
your babies. When you have like something that you love and you're like, it's kind of
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's yeah, you got to kill the baby. So
Yeah.
I think all music is hard if you
Mm.
want to completely reflect exactly what you're trying to get across. And
Mm.
so it's always hard.
All right. Okay. Life is But a Dream is your latest album. Can you explain to me what the creative process was like?
Yeah. We did a bunch of DMT. Our whole perspective on life changed, and we started
Mm.
writing about it. And
Oh.
we started making sounds that we
Mm.
felt were unique. We started looking at song structures and twisting them on their head. We
Mm.
started trying to um, make left turns in places that you would never expect a left turn. We started trying to write different types of melodies, um, but it was all done to express complete freedom and express that no genres can hold us down, and we're just
Mm.
going to write whatever we want. And so the
Mm.
creative process was awesome, fun, life changing, extreme, strenuous,
Mm.
stressful. It was everything.
Oh, right. great. But it's totally fun, right?
All good. You got to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The last time you worked on a studio album was 7 years ago when you write the album called The Stage. Why did you take a long break to this album, Life But a Dream? Was it because your vocal cords were disturbed again in 2018?
Yeah. So I had many years where was trying to get through a recovery
Yeah.
with no surgery.
Hmm.
Then I realized that that wasn't going to happen. So then I had a surgery, and that
Hmm.
was going to take many, many months to get better. Meanwhile, we all went through a pandemic.
Hmm.
And so it was like thing after thing after thing after thing. And a lot of bands were putting out records and they couldn't tour. And we understood that putting a bunch of work into a record and then not being able to play it live,
Hmm.
and we didn't know when we'd ever be able to do it. It seemed like a lot. It seemed like it was going to get forgotten very quickly.
Yeah.
One thing we like to do is, put out a record and we want to go play it for people.
Hmm.
And during the pandemic, we just simply couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So once we kind of got over the anxiety of like, oh my God, like this is taking forever,
Yeah.
then we were like, okay, well, it is what it is. And like, let's just
Yeah.
put it out when we want. And so
Yeah.
we took our time with it. And so there was a lot of factors. It was the voice, it
Hmm.
was it was the
Pandemic.
pandemic, it was everything. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So the sixth question is: many people think that the album "Life Is But a Dream" is far from Avenged Sevenfold's music character. Do you agree with that? If you so, why change the color of the progressive metal music that has been attached to Avenged Sevenfold?
Um, every record has been a complete reflection of us.
All right.
So I just don't know. I think there's a lot of chaos in that record.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at it from the
Mm.
sense that you're trying to find
Mm.
the common thread, then you're going to be lost.
Ah.
If you put it on with no expectations, you will hear the weaved melodic underpinning of that whole record. And I've already seen it. You already see people coming back months later going, "Oh my God, I hated this record. And now I put it on, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I get it."
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that to me, I was the same way with The Wall. I loved Pink Floyd.
Mm.
I put on The Wall. I thought it was just all over the place. Pinkerton's another record by Weezer. I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then one day you put it on with no expectations and you go, oh, it was me. I didn't get it, but it was
Yeah.
there. And so Life Is But a Dream is going to age perfectly fine. And we're already seeing it live in America where people are getting it. They're understanding it. They want more songs played from it. So all you can do is be a reflection of yourself. You can't try to write for other people. You have to just do what you do, and either people come along or they don't. It's all good.
Yeah. And you can please everyone, right?
You can't please anyone these days. If we wrote Nightmare Part 2, we'd have all the people that love Life Is But a Dream saying they ran out of ideas, right? And then we do Life Is But a Dream, and they go, "Well, give us Nightmare Part 2." And it just you can never please people, especially when the fan base gets big, right? The fan base, there's a bunch of people that have all come into this fan base on different records, and there's 7 records, right? And they all want a little more of that, but you just can't, right? Because if records 6 and 7 sounded the same, then you wouldn't have got record 7. And that's the thing. You got to keep progressing.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Okay. Let's talk about your upcoming concert in Jakarta. Why did you choose Indonesia, especially Jakarta, as your only destination in Asia, man?
I mean, Indonesia and Jakarta is literally our biggest streaming market. So more people listen to us in Indonesia than anywhere else in the world. And we were thinking about doing, a bigger tour, a more robust tour in Southeast Asia. But then the American tour and Europe got very tight and we didn't have time. So we said, okay, well, we don't want to just scrap it all. Let's do one show. And it was a no-brainer. It was like, let's do one show before we go back in 2025 and play more. And it was obvious to us that we had to do Jakarta. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, what concept and stage setup are prepared for the Jakarta concert so that you can satisfy your fancy heart?
Yeah, we're trying to bring over everything that we can that's going to be going to Europe.
Mm,
There are certain things that are more difficult than others, but we have a very robust stage production.
Yeah.
It's very different. It's a little it's an emotional flow. It's a big thing. So we're trying to make sure that we translate that as 100% possible in Indonesia. Obviously, it's hard to send everything over for one show, but we are doing our best. So without giving anything away, you guys are going to be getting the full show.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting for that too. And ninth question is, can you share a little of the set list for the concert in Jakarta? Will it bring the old hits that so many Indonesian fans like?
All I'll say is that we are very aware of what the Indonesian fans like, and we plan to make as many people happy as we can.
Ah, okay. I can wait too long. Okay, the last question is, did you know that your songs were synonymous with Indonesia Internet Cafe setlist in the early 2000s? Especially that one song, Dear God. How do you think about that, Matt?
It's very strange to us because it's the only place in the world that people care about Dear God.
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to bust it out. We're going to play it. We haven't played it in many, many years. I think the last time we played it is 2009. Like we played it like for 6 shows in America.
Okay.
So we're gonna, we got to learn it. We're gonna play it. And we're excited. There's some other ones too that people love there, like Gunslinger and Seize the Day and Almost and A Little Piece of Heaven. So we are very aware of what the Indonesians like, and we want to come and play some. It's going to be fun for us because we haven't played those songs in so long. It's going to be like, let's go see what happens. Cool.
So you have to learn it again, right?
You gotta learn it again, yeah, for sure.
Okay. For the last, can you give the little message to your fans in Indonesia for your upcoming concert in May 2024?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we feel the love from Indonesia. We consider it one of our favorite places to go. We truly do. And we're honored that they are welcoming us, so amazingly. Like it's a huge show. It's going to be so fun. So all I can say is that, it's been many, many years that we've been coming there, and to see it pay off like this is just, we're emotional over it. It's very cool.
Oh, okay. So that's enough for me. Thank you, Matt, for your time. Have a great day.
All right. You have a good one, man. Nice to meet you.